Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 159 of the Run in the Paint podcast. I'm Miles here with Ben, Joey, and Nick. Guys, how are you doing today?
Feeling good, feeling great, ready to start off our burning questions later on.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Happy decision day, guys. That's really what
That-
today is.
True.
Big day. LeBron decision 2.0.
Yeah,
Can't wait to see what the hubbub is.
we're going to get to that here today as well as...
You guys will probably know when you're watching this, but
yeah,
we're still in the dark here.
We are still in the dark here. Of course, this is going up early in the morning. He'll make the decision at 12 p.m. noon. So whatever it is, we'll talk about it in the next episode, and we'll obviously talk about the speculation as well as the first of 20 burning questions about the NBA season. Of course, the last few episodes we've been spending ranking our top 10 players at every position, our top 50 players list, going and dissecting every team in the league, and in the last couple episodes giving our standings predictions, which included some hot takes, which was a lot of fun. So if you haven't checked those videos out, go check them out for sure.
There might be some more coming up. There might be some more coming up, hot takes in these burning questions here.
Oh, they are. The burning questions, that's where the hot takes really come out. But before we get into all that, we have Pearl today. Nick, who is the first player we are going to guess?
You guys might know this guy. LeBron.
Are we serious?
Oh, are we really?
Yeah.
Today's the day.
See, the problem is though, we already this isn't gonna help with the age.
Put him in, man.
All right. We got
There's literally nobody older.
LeBron. Oh my gosh! All right, a guard
That's
forward in the Pacific Division that wears a number 20 or below in the Pacific Division.
So
And
this will be Jalen Green.
He won't be a forward.
We just had Jalen.
Yeah,
Green.
it can't be Jalen Green.
This will be Clippers, Warriors, Kings, or Suns. Yeah, man, the age. I think we gotta guess someone that's like around 30 to try to like narrow this down. Like
Zach LaVine?
Yeah, Zach LaVine. I don't know if he'll be a forward either, but that's not.
Well, guard forward. I'm thinking maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll be a guard forward either, but we could try him out. I mean, are there any?
A 6'6" guard forward.
Dylan Brooks, maybe?
Dylan Brooks, Jimmy Butler.
Dylan Brooks is not in the Pacific though. Oh yeah,
No, yeah,
he's
he's
in
on the
Phoenix.
Suns.
Sorry.
Welcome to a brand new season. I don't know. What do you guys want to get? There's Dylan Brooks. There's Jimmy Butler. There's Bradley Beal. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I like Brooks.
I like Dylan Brooks.
Oh, let's go Brooks.
All right, let's go with Dylan Brooks, the villain. All right, number 10 or 11, 6'6" guard forward that isn't on the Suns or the Lakers. 10 or 11. I think this is Jimmy Butler.
I think it's Jimmy Butler.
Number 10, Jimmy Butler the
Yeah,
third. What?
Oh.
So that means
DeMar?
DeMar DeRozan.
It is DeMar.
Oh my gosh. Click on it. There we go.
There it is.
Uh-huh.
I said Zach LaVine. I didn't even guess his partner in crime.
I didn't even think DeMar DeRozan. That's bad on us. We should have gotten that in like 2 or 3. Definitely 3, but it's all good. It's all good. I don't think Jimmy was a bad guess either. But let us know how long it took you guys to get DeMar DeRozan.
LeBron was a good start.
Yeah, it was a good start, and that's where we will continue to go in this episode because, man, randomly yesterday as we're filming, I guess today as we're recording this, LeBron posts on Instagram, on X, I'm not sure on TikTok, but posts everywhere on social media a little 10 to 15 second tease of 2 chairs across from each other with this one guy who I don't know who it is. Did you guys know who that other guy was at all?
At first, I thought it looked like Grant Hill, but that can't be right.
No, not Grant Hill. I don't know who it is.
So.
But anyways, LeBron goes up, sits down across, and then the second decision, the decision of all decisions, coming out again today at 12 p.m. Eastern. And of course, this whole offseason, there's been speculation about the King, whether or not year 23, NBA record 23rd season in the league, could potentially be his final season. So, Joey, starting off with you, what are your thoughts on this? What do you think this could mean? What do you think?
I was very shocked. It kind of came out of nowhere. It really came out of nowhere. I had like a bunch of people texting me about it. Our group chat started blowing up.
And we
we
lose Joey moment for a second. Hopefully he's back with us soon. But Nick, let's just go over to you. What are your thoughts about this? And we kind of piggybacking off of Joey.
Yeah, I was surprised as well. Obviously, like you said, just a lot of people talking about what this could be, and I don't know. I have no idea. I'm intrigued for sure because last time he did something like this, it was a league shifting decision. I always thought that when LeBron retired, though, just based on like my own, I don't know, nothing other than my own thoughts, was that it'd be like at the end of the year, and he would just kind of like hang it up and be like, "All right, that's it." Like after
Really?
a deep run, yeah, like go out when you're on, I don't know, as top as you could be.
So, Ben, I don't know about you, but I have had in my mind for years, because obviously the prolonged success of LeBron James has obviously been unprecedented and incredible. And I'm sure people have been theorizing what the end of LeBron James' career has looked like for a number of years. But me personally, I want to hear if you think the same thing. It's different from Nick. I've thought the whole time that there is no way that LeBron retires without a full farewell tour for his final season.
Yeah, that's how I've been thinking of it too. I was thinking, in the past, even before this all came up today randomly, it surprised me after class today at college. I was thinking, just, yeah, I would think LeBron would want to, like, announce before, like, his last season started, if it was planning on it being his last season for him, that, he was going to retire after the year, and want to do a retirement tour. And, Kobe, kind of did a similar thing, except it was like November 30th into that season, a little bit into that season, but he was able to like get a nice farewell tour in at stadium. So what I'm thinking with this is that, people were talking about like it could be like a commercial thing, but like usually like tweets where he's done that, he's put like hashtag ad or something. So I'm not thinking it's that.
It's Prime Day, Benny. It's Amazon.
Related to basketball that could be potentially him announcing that this is going to be his last year.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Nick, you said it is Prime Day, so it is fitting. It's also National Taco Day. Don't know if you guys knew that, on Taco Tuesday. So it could just be a whole big thing there. Yeah, man, I don't know. I mean, at first when I saw this, I was thinking, yeah, this is an ad. This has got to be an ad for Prime Day. The league is beginning their new coverage with Amazon Prime Video, all their new, companies for broadcasting games. But then, yeah, like for things in the past, he's put hashtag ad and things like that as Joey returns after a brief internet outage.
Sorry about that, fellas.
They're all good, out of your control. But so that had me thinking, this is really the first time for me personally that I have seriously considered the actual thought of him retiring. Like, he's thrown hints out at the end of seasons in previous years. Of course, he's old. He's the oldest player in the league, and he's still been playing so well. But it never really occurred to me about the thought that, oh my gosh, like we really could be nearing the end of this, until I started thinking about what this could be. And it's like, wow, like this really could be a historic, league altering moment, but in the opposite way. Like I've been thinking, like, obviously the decision based off of the decision back in 2010 when LeBron James announced that he was taking his talents from Cleveland to South Beach to join the Miami Heat. And the reception after that was obviously, besides in Miami, completely negative from every fan base for Cleveland, Dan Gilbert, everyone in the whole city. It was completely negative. I'm just so interested to see that if this announcement is indeed him announcing that he's retiring at the end of the season or the end of the next season, but I think it'd be at the end of this season, how it would just be complete reversal, how the reception from fans and everyone across the league would just be so positive. Like, I'm very interested to see how the reception is towards LeBron once this announcement does get made, if it is today or if it's later in the season. I'm just really excited to see how that pans out.
Agreed.
Joey, what were you saying?
Oh yeah, I was yapping before. Sorry. In the middle of it.
I think he will probably. I think it'll probably be his retirement thing. I think, even though I said like, I never thought that he would do a thing where he would just hang it up at the end of the season. I thought that's how it would go in my head, but it does kind of seem like it's just gonna, like, when I saw it, my first thing was, oh, this is probably his retirement thing.
That's exactly what I thought.
Yeah, and it's insane, man, that we're actually getting to this point. So and of course, like, it'll be funny if this whole thing ends up being an Amazon Prime commercial. There's a crazy twist. Maybe it's both. Maybe it's a commercial that'll be like, hey, this is my final season. You can catch the action on Amazon Prime Video, like something like that. But either way,
that'd be
Ben,
a heck of a bag.
He's gonna get like close to $1 billion for that sponsorship.
That's a bag.
Yeah, so, but either way, Ben, this is going to be something else. I mean, we'll obviously talk about the results of this, and if this is true, this will probably open up the first, 15, 20 minutes of the pod on Friday. I mean, what do you think it will be, Ben? Do you think it will end up being an announcement of him retiring after the season?
I'm going to have to give an announcement of him retiring at the end of the season. I mean, I'm thinking it's got to be something basketball related, but I think that would be the most likely thing. Nothing really else would make sense. So I think it's going to be farewell tour, then retire kind of thing, but we'll have to see. I'm intrigued. It's really interesting.
Yeah, and of course, if that ends up being the case, then, I mean, I'll have a couple more questions to add to this burning questions list that we have right now. Maybe it'll end up being 23 burning questions just for LeBron, just for his final season. We'll see, because I've got a few questions that would go along with that, but we'll save that for later. For now, let's get into our 5 burning questions. So how it worked, or Nick, you want to go first?
I wanted to add on, the documentary is going to go so hard.
Oh yeah, that 30 for 30 is going to go crazy.
And the montage and edits are just going to be run. They're going to be streamed so much in that this first week, and just this whole, I mean, man, the stream's going to go crazy.
Do you think You Are My Sunshine is going to be sung by the fans at every single game? If that is the decision.
Will a team play that as the background video for a tribute video? Because, I mean, every team in the league will probably play some sort of video.
Of them just getting clobbered by LeBron. Their organization just getting...
Toronto's, I would want to see their tribute video.
Well, you know what's funny? In Toronto, back when, of course, the biggest retirement tour in the NBA was Kobe, as Ben said, which he didn't announce until the November 30th, December 1st date, right before his final game in his home U.S. town of Philadelphia, before his final game against the Sixers. And I remember the coverage of that as well, because that was a game between two teams that were awful heading into that game. I'm pretty sure this is December 1st. I want to say that the Sixers had not won a game yet at that point of the season. It was bad. I'm going back to look at their schedule. The 2015-2016 76ers were 0-18 heading into this game, and the Lakers were, awful as well in that season, the rebuilding stages. Sixers 0-18, the Lakers 2-14.
Lakers. The Swaggy P Lakers.
Yes, so the two teams were combined 2-32 heading into this game, yet the coverage, media came in from all over. And it was funny because it actually ended up being the Sixers' first win of their 10-win season.
Yikes.
But yeah, I'm very excited to see if that does end up being what this is, and then of course we'll have a whole bunch of questions going forward, like what does this mean for the Lakers team in what is a big year for them, and then of course a whole bunch of questions after that. But as far as our 20 burning questions for this preseason that we have so far, each of us have come up with 5 questions to add up to 20, obviously, and we came through here, and we are going to talk about 5 per episode. So each of us have a question. One of us is going to have 2 questions that we're going to talk about in the episode. So today, Joey is doubling up here with his questions, and all about different things with the season. Of course, throughout these episodes, we've been previewing these teams and our conference predictions. It's kind of been an individual thing with a player or a team that we've been talking about, but this is always a lot of fun because these are a lot of questions about the overall state of the league, if you will, and just different aspects of the game. So it should be a lot of fun here. So Joey, since you're doubling up, why don't you get us started with your first question?
Can do. The first question is, out of all the coaches on the hot seat, who gets fired first?
That is a good question. That is always a question of talking point to start things off. Ben, why don't you get us started here with this one?
Yeah, so there are not too many coaches I could really think of possibly for like getting fired in the season or something, which I guess is good here for a lot of teams. But I had to make a pick, and I picked the Pelicans' Willie Green, as I think the New Orleans Pelicans is, I've talked about before. I don't think they're going to be very good this year. They're in a weird position, and I think, Willie Green, can do some good stuff as a coach, but I think it's going to be a results thing. They're just going to fire him. He's like the first one fired because I just don't really know who else could be fired before him. So that's what I think.
Yeah, I agree with this one as well. Of course, this seems to be, if there is a favorite to get fired first, I'm not sure if there is. I mean, there is one for everything, but I think it would have to be Willie Green just for the struggles over the last few years. And I mean, he's been the coach there this is his 5th season. This coming year is his 5th season. He's had a lot of time there, and obviously injuries have played a major factor, and the front office is not, it's been well documented, especially on this podcast, how we feel about the decisions they've made this summer. But, usually the first guy to go is the head coach when things aren't going well, and there's been little to no success to back up his case to stay there in 4 years.
Joey, who do you got?
I like that pick. I have Charles Lee for the Charlotte Hornets. I just think they're going to be really bad. I think time is running out on that entire just core there in Charlotte. I don't know where they're going. We've talked about it a lot in the previews, but I think they're just going to be really, really bad this year.
In just his second year?
That's my thing. I think they're going to blow it. At least I think they should blow it all up. But I don't know about the second year, but I've seen coaches get fired in their first year. So
I have a guy getting fired in the second year that hasn't been mentioned yet.
All right.
I also consider Willie Green. However, I like the Pelicans this year. I think they're going to be close to 500, or at least within shouting distance at the All-Star break, and that'll save Willie's job. He's going to put the ball in Zion's hands, Ben, and they're going to have a decent offense, all right?
Well, we'll see.
They got some good centers. They're going to play defense. They got Herb Jones, all right? They're going to have 36 wins.
See, they should do all of those things.
Going to keep his job.
Will they? We'll see.
I also considered Billy Donovan for obvious reasons.
Well, see, what's weird is they signed him to an extension in the summer, so he's locked up.
Do it.
Okay, but I went with Doc in his second year at the Bucks. That's right, baby. That Milwaukee plane is going down, and that's going to be their scapegoat. See you, Doc.
You know I love that pick. You know I love that pick. That's actually a great pick. That would make a lot of sense.
But I also think they're going to start well, like I said, with Giannis, and I think they're going to have a decent start. So I think it's going to get fired like late.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Did any coaches get fired midway, like through the season, like during the year last year?
Well,
Mike Brown?
Mike Brown. Yeah.
Well, technically, 2 coaches got fired during the year. It was right before the playoffs started.
You are correct with that.
Yeah,
Very true. Yes, you are absolutely correct. In the season, it was Mike Brown, Taylor Jenkins, and Michael Malone. 3 pretty good coaches that all got fired. And you're right, Mike Brown was right before the new year, and the other 2 were with a month and with 3 games left in the season. That was the wildest month. Like,
It really was.
Like, we were literally talking about a great coach getting fired from a title contending team in our awards episode, like our final episode of the regular season. Like that. That's crazy. But that's not bad. That's not bad. Charles Lee, it's not bad. I mean, I don't think it'll happen because he wasn't given a lot to work with last year. And they haven't, like we talked about, they haven't brought in a whole lot of winners. I think he might be one of those coaches where I think he could be a good coach. I like his potential. He just might be with the wrong team.
That's what I'm thinking. I think he needs to get out of there. I think that's the best thing for his career.
Yeah. But I will say, so this question was which coach gets fired first. I like all those. We mentioned this a little bit during our preview of this team. I think that there's going to be a pretty good coach that gets fired after the season from the Orlando Magic. I think Jamal Mosley is going to get fired after the season.
My coach of the year.
Yes, I do. And I think he actually might be one of the favorites.
You know what? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
But no, I think that he's a good coach. I think that he is pretty similar to JB Bickerstaff, which is funny because those 2 guys are pretty good friends. But similar to where I think he's done a great job with that Magic team, bringing them up through this rebuild over the last few years to get them to the position to be a playoff team, a competitive team that wants to win some games here. But of course, offensively, they haven't had the shooting to make things work, but their offense has not been anything that great. And maybe that changes now that they have a legit guy that can come off screens and knock down shots in Desmond Bane. But if they go through a season where the East is pretty wide open for them to at least win a playoff series, like if they're not able to win a playoff series or they lose to a team that is not as good as them, I think they might be in a similar position to where the Cavs were in 2024, where, all right, we've obviously made some progress with you. We appreciate everything you've done for this team and bringing us back up to being relevant. But now we need someone to take us to the next level on both sides of the floor, and they move on and get someone that can take them to the next level.
I don't hate that. I kind of get it. The potential has been reached, possibly.
Yeah, and we'll see what it is. We'll see what it is this season. But there could also be a world where Jamal Mosley is the coach of the year. There could be a potential where he gets coach of the year and he gets fired. We've seen that before.
I would like to call your Jamal Mosley and raise you a Christopher Finch, a 2-time Western Conference finalist. If we're just going to throw names out here, I think he could be on the hot seat after the season if things don't go well in Minnesota.
I think he could too. I don't think that's crazy. Who's more likely to get fired at the end of the season, Chris Finch or Jamal Mosley? What do you guys? I think that's a good question. That might be it. What do you guys think?
Call and raise. I
would probably have to say Jamal Mosley just because I know there's a difference between not improving over many seasons, like a couple seasons, like where the Timberwolves, they reached the Western Conference Finals twice. They just haven't gotten past that.
Yeah, they've exceeded their expectations.
The Orlando Magic haven't gotten past the first round. And their offense looks like it's getting worse.
Desmond Bane.
Desmond Bane might fix it all, but I don't know.
We'll see. We'll definitely see. Definitely an interesting question there with the coaches. Moving on here, let's go to Ben. Ben, what is your question? Looks like we have a statistical question.
Yes. My question is, who do you guys think by the end of the regular season will be averaging the most points per game in the NBA? Who will be number 1 in that?
Yeah, so of course, last season it was Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, year before Luka Doncic. Then it was a handful of years with Joel Embiid. So obviously a superstar that knows how to put the ball in the basket. That's where you get with this question. Nick, who do you think is going to lead the league in scoring? Do you have a guy? I guess let's ask two questions with this, or maybe it'll double as one. Who do you think will lead the league in scoring? And a guy that has not done it before, someone that we wouldn't expect to lead the league in scoring, or just, again, someone that hasn't done it before. Who do you think has the potential to lead the league in scoring?
The first two guys that I thought of and I considered were Joel Embiid, because he's coming back off injury, and I think if he's the same player that we saw before he was really down with injuries and all that, he could easily just come right back and start doing the same thing and averaging literally more points than minutes played, which is unbelievable. I mean, that's what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
So I considered him, obviously, because you have to. And then I went with Luka because I think he's gonna have a really big bounce back year, and he's my MVP as well. So had to pick Luka for the scoring leader. Who I would put there that hasn't done it before? The first guy I thought of was Cade, but that doesn't really make sense.
I see the mold there, like a team that is going to need – I mean, he's going to need to put up a lot of points for them to be successful because they don't have that secondary star right now. So that's not crazy.
Yeah.
I don't think. Ben, how about you? What do you think? Who do you think could lead the league in scoring, to answer your own question?
So I picked Giannis for this just because, look, the Bucks don't have very much around them, and I just think he's just going to be so dominant at times. He's just going to have to carry them. I think he'll be able to do it this year, but yeah, I like Nick's thinking with Luka. I wouldn't be surprised to see Luka up there. He's going to have to do a ton with the Lakers this year. I think he can bounce back and Joel Embiid, who knows? If he stays healthy, could get back to where he used to be. We've seen him before just be right up there, get so crazy with the scoring. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if any of the top superstar guards who could be up there for MVP if just one of them get it.
No question about it. Joey, how about you?
I also had Giannis written down just because I legit think there's a chance he could average 40. Because there is nobody else on that team.
40 and 18.
40 and 18.
I'll have to start shooting some threes.
Dude, that would
start shooting some threes.
It'd be ridiculous, dude, if he did that.
And they'll still finish 12th like your prediction, Miles.
Yeah, I mean, dude, that could very well be correct. Not 38 or not 40 and 18 or whatever. I could see, realistically, if he has to play a whole lot of minutes, a 34, 14, and 7 year, that could happen.
It's not out of the realm of possibility.
Especially since their center is Miles Turner. Who else is going to rebound? He could put up 14 boards a game.
Easily. I will say, I don't know if he has won it before, but a guy that we haven't really mentioned, or at least the top guys, is Devin Booker. I think it could be a possibility of someone who could lead it because, again, there's a couple guys there that can score, but the most reliable one and the true star of that team is so clearly Devin Booker.
Yeah, that's a name I had written down for a guy that hasn't done it before. Of course, I put for number one, I put Shea because Shea is still Shea. I think he could get better. That's the boring answer. But no, for guys that haven't done it before, Devin Booker and Anthony Edwards, I think, are two guys that could totally do this.
Yeah.
I think Anthony Edwards, I could just see it. That doesn't seem like that'd be that crazy. Booker, I think, could be a little bit more out there because he is going to be tasked with being the point guard and making sure that Jalen Green also gets his shots up, Dylan Brooks, Mark Williams. He's going to be the point guard, for better or for worse.
Is there any world where Mike Brown's new offense has Jalen Brunson in this conversation?
It could. I thought about one of those guys, one of those guards from the East. I'm just not sure with those teams that are right at the top, course, Donovan Mitchell's a candidate. Jalen Brunson's a candidate.
Jalen Brown's gonna have a crazy year.
Jalen Brown, if he plays in a bunch of games, like I think all those guys could. Paolo Banchero, Trae Young, like there are so many guys that could just have absurd, crazy years.
At least for the first half of the year, I was thinking even Donnie Mitchell.
Yeah, he said that.
Oh,
Yeah, but maybe. I just the thing that I had against those top teams, again, like even for Cleveland, there's going to be an emphasis to make sure Evan Mobley gets a lot more shots for him to be the point forward, hub of the offense. And, I mean, if they're expected to be at the top of the East in a weaker Eastern Conference, I mean, those two teams should be blowing teams out. Like, we saw the Cavs last season, he only averaged like 24 points per game and made All-NBA first team. Brunson, I think Brunson could definitely be a candidate as well with that new Knicks offense. So a whole array of players, which definitely love to hear for this one. Nick, let's go to your question.
Yeah. My question is, what are you excited for this season that nobody is talking about?
Well, I'll start this one off. Going with my Cavs here, or our Cavs on this one. Something that I don't think anyone is really talking about here from both a team and really a player perspective is getting to see what Lonzo Ball can do, contributing on a title contending team that has realistic chances to win the whole thing. I mean, throughout his career, he's someone that can really contribute to winning basketball. He's such a smart offensive and defensive player. His instincts are incredible. He's improved his three-point shot so much. He's going to be an incredible connector for this team. He was a great connector for that Bulls team for that half a year where they were really good when he was playing. But he's never played in a playoff game. Like, he's someone that could really contribute to winning basketball, to playoff basketball, that just hasn't been there before. So I'm excited to see what he does with really his first chance to play for a team that has aspirations of winning the whole thing.
I like that. I hope he just continues to do so, because he would be absolutely electric. Fill that Ty Jerome spot right away. Would be just an absolute incredible.
In a different way.
In a different way, yeah, for sure.
In a way that's more fit to winning a championship, I think. So I'm excited to see what he brings to the table.
I was talking with my assistant coach at basketball today, and he's a guy who's been doing it for a little while. He's not really locked into like the NBA and stuff, but he knows his stuff. He's like, yeah, I really like that Lorenzo Ball addition Cavs made, because we were talking about them, and I'm like, yeah. But we were talking about how it should be a really good year for them and whatnot. So
shout out my boy Lorenzo.
And he's also a 16-game playoff guy, like we're always talking about as well.
Yeah, again, it's just so weird. Like I think across the league, he can be universally identified as a 16-game player who hasn't played in there yet. Like that's what I'm excited to see, is that time of year, seeing what he can bring to this team.
Agreed.
Absolutely, good answer.
Nick, go ahead.
So you're gonna like this answer as well. I went with Toumani Kamara's year 3 jump.
Yes.
Because we have a hole open in the starting lineup with some scoring that's not going to be there to start the year with Scoot. So Scoot Henderson's year 3 jump is going to be put on hold for a little bit, and that'll make room for Toumani to really hopefully open up a little bit and hopefully score some more to begin the year. I'm excited to see what he can do this year. So I don't think anybody's talking about that. Toumani Kamara's year 3 jump, baby.
I'm excited for it now, though.
Yeah.
Now it's on the radar.
That's right.
But yeah, definitely exciting. Joey, how about you?
We've talked about them a little bit and hinted at it, but the Southeast Division as a whole. Because last year, all like 3 play-in teams, right? This year, even according to Nick, 3 playoff teams. Because the Heat being in, like, according to him, being in the 6th spot. But again, I don't know, but that is like a possibility. Like we over the last couple of years, they've been like the weaker division, and everyone's talking about Cleveland or New York. But man, this Southeast Division with the Hawks and this Orlando Magic team, and even the Heat, like we can never count out the Miami Heat in that culture. But like all 3 of these teams could really muddy up that playoff picture and the playoffs and play-in tournament as a whole.
Yeah, definitely hoping for a better season here. I mean, I've joked about it before. I'm not sure if the Magic hang up banners for like division titles or anything like that. I'm sure they do because it's not like they have a whole lot of other things to put banners up for. No disrespect to the Magic. We all love the Magic. But they might have a banner up for being division champions where they went 500 in the season. Like, that's how bad it was. They were the division champions at 41-41 and lost 4-1 in the first round. So definitely hoping for a better year from that division. Ben, how about you? What are you excited for this year that no one's talking about?
I have just the Pistons young core guys. Look, I mean, they just got, multiple fun and energy guys who play some tough bad boy Piston-like basketball. And I think that's going to continue this year. And I'm really excited to watch that. It's going to be fun to watch. Like, I think Asor could, look kind of like his brother Mender on the Pistons. I'm definitely intrigued in him. And Ron Holland had some fun energy moments last year. And I talked about before, I'm really excited for Ivy and think he'd stay more healthy. It'd be a lot of fun to watch. It's just, that second go-to guy fitting in with Cade well, and Cade Cunningham will be like, the motor of that team. That'll be fun. And the big man rotation, they're going to be tough inside. They're going to be a lot of fun, like Duran and Isaiah Stewart. They're gonna make Gunner, like, teams they play go crazy against them. It's gonna be funny and fun.
Yeah, Ben is hyped up about the Pistons. I love to see it. The Pistons and the Spurs. Those are his two teams to watch this season. Definitely love it. Yeah, they're definitely.
Is that your early finals prediction, Ben? Pistons versus Spurs.
That is the marquee matchup of the season for Ben Exler out there. That's great though. I love that. I'll go next with my question here. Going back to the offseason a little bit. What offseason acquisition will make the biggest impact this season? Now, there were a lot of big names traded, so it could be a big name, could be a smaller name. Like I mentioned, Lonzo Ball. Like it could be a role player addition. Ben, why don't you go first with this one? What do you think?
Yeah, there's some different names that I could go with, but I have to go Kevin Durant on the Rockets because, like, man, he's getting older, but he's just still super good. He still is Kevin Durant, and the team's just going to be, contenders and competing this year and stuff. And when you bring a guy in like Kevin Durant to this team with these talented young guys, it's a good depth around him. Like, that's just going to be a huge impact, like, right off the bat, I think,
Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree. But the wording of this question, Miles, can you repeat it?
What offseason acquisition will make the biggest impact on this season?
That's right. Offseason acquisition. So I have Cooper Flagg because he indeed was an offseason acquisition for the Dallas Mavericks. So I went with Flagg here because I think that come June, if the Mavericks have everybody healthy, they're gonna have a good shot. I mean, they're gonna be right in the hunt here at the end of the spring, going for the play. I mean, we talked about the top 5 seeds in the pre-pod lobby, or the top 5 contenders. There were 3 teams from the West: the Nuggets, the Rockets, and obviously the Thunder. And I think the Mavericks roster is up there as the next closest when fully healthy. So Cooper Flagg, for me, it's the biggest offseason acquisition in the league.
That's a really
okay.
That's a good answer. Makes sense. The team literally traded Luka Doncic for him. So
I mean, that's
it makes
the
sense.
non-Durant answer.
Yeah. Duran is a pretty good and easy answer though, because even though the Rockets were really good last year, nobody took him as contenders, and now you all of a sudden get Kevin Durant. It's like, yeah, you're a favorite.
The one thing they were missing was a go-to guy. They did not have that, and now they have, one of the go-to guys of all time. So it's a perfect move for them.
Is that who you guys went with then, obviously?
No, I went with a guy with a little bit of more diminished role, but a former teammate of Kevin Durant. I went Bradley Beal with the Clippers. And it's specifically because, and I know we mentioned it before, but like, he is going to be looked at in such a different light, I think, this year with this Clippers team. And it's purely because of the money. Like, he's going to be an absolute bargain this year for the Clippers off of that deal, and like averaging probably 15 points a game.
At least.
Like, I with a lot of those players and a lot of those guys very injury prone, he's going to be very key to keeping them on track if he can stay healthy.
Yeah, the Norman Powell role for this year's team. I think he could definitely put up those numbers. Last year, Powell averaged 22 points per game, very efficient from the field. Beal is still very good. We've talked about it before, because he was making so much money on a diminished role, but on a team with expectations there with the Suns. People all of a sudden think that he's just not a good player anymore. That's just not the case. He's still a very good player, I think. That could definitely play a role. So I like that. I definitely like that answer. I wasn't even thinking about Bradley Beal. That's very good. Mine is another big guy, former All-Star, former NBA champion, going with Kristaps Porzingis to the Atlanta Hawks. I really love this Hawks team. I know most of us do on this podcast, and I think that his addition to this team really completes it all.
That's what we said about the Celtics.
Yeah, it's what we said about the Celtics too. Now, I don't know if the Hawks are going to be as good as the Celtics, because the Celtics were a very, very good team. But Atlanta, again, this is the best team I think that you could build around Trae Young to fit his deficiencies on the defensive end. And it isn't too much far off of last year's team. When you look at it, they replaced Karis LeVert with Nickeil Alexander-Walker, replaced Terrence Mann with like Luke Kennard. You can go with that. And then it's like, okay, bring these guys back. It's not that crazy. But then you get Kristaps Porzingis essentially replacing Clint Capella. That is huge. He, to me, is the reason why this is the best team around Trae Young, because not only is he 7'3" and can protect shots at the rim, but he can stretch you out to 25, 30 feet, as we saw for the Celtics. So I think that he could have the biggest impact on the league this season. Answering for the question for this season, I think that he could have a huge role on the Hawks being a low-key title contender. I've said it multiple times. I think that the Hawks could be this year's version of the Pacers. I think they provide a lot of the same things to the table. And if there is a surprising run in the East from a team, to me, it'll be from the Atlanta Hawks. And I don't know. I don't think a lot of us will be that surprised on this podcast, because we all love their roster.
Agreed. It is interesting to because I also had KP as like one of the guys I was thinking of for this answer. It is interesting you bring up because they really haven't. Trae Young has not had with Clint Capella and Okongwu a guy that can stretch it out. Like, he's never had to work with a center instead of a pick and roll, a pick and pop every now and then. He's going to be able to do so much.
Yeah, the closest they've had was like Onyeka Okongwu trying to start shooting threes. Like this, the last couple of years, he's attempted 1 to 2 threes a game, shooting at like 32%. So he's trying to provide the spacing. But obviously, Kristaps Porzingis is he's up there. Honestly, when his career's over, he'll be looked at as one of the great three-point shooting bigs that the league has ever seen, especially for a dude that's over 7 feet tall. He's
Bargnani.
Yeah, it's like Andrea Bargnani. But no, definitely, a huge pickup. And I think that to answer the question for this particular season, I think that Porzingis will have the biggest impact of any of these guys. Although, I'm surprised none of us did mention Desmond Bane. He'll make a huge difference to the Orlando Magic. Perfect move for them. But how about any other role players that you guys think could have a huge impact? I mentioned Lonzo Ball already to the Cavs. Are there
Alexander Walker?
That's
Yannick
exactly
Hill,
what I was
Yannick
going
Hill.
to say. I was going to say the teammate of KP.
I'm trying to think across the rest of the league.
DFS.
Yeah, Dorian Finney-Smith to the Rockets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
D'Lo on the Mavs, I think he'll make a big impact there to start off the year of no Kyrie. And then even when Kyrie comes back, be big off the bench. I like that for them.
Yeah, for sure. Of course, the Knicks getting depth players. I'm not sure how good each of them will be with Clarkson and Yabusele and Brogdon. Not sure how good they're all going to be, but they're all able to play.
I have full belief in Yabusele.
Yeah, that's Joey's boy, for sure. Of course, we'll get, obviously all the Clippers additions, but of course, got to mention DeAndre Ayton on the Lakers if that pans out well. He definitely was a big name that was, on the move this summer. But yeah, definitely a whole lot of movement and a whole lot of names that could make a difference this season. Final question of the episode. Let's loop back around to Joey. What do you have for us?
All right, we were talking about a couple teams there that we have very high hopes for. Now, which team is going to severely disappoint us, the league, themselves? Who knows? What do you think? Which team is going to severely disappoint this year?
Nick, start us off.
I considered Joey's pick for the coach that's going to get fired in Charles Lee and the Hornets. Considered Charlotte because they haven't had a 30-win season over for the last 3 years. So I think that should be the bar for them. I've said it before. I'll say it again. 30 wins is a low bar. They should win it. And if they don't, then that would be my pick for severely disappointing. But I have an even better one, and that's Minnesota. I think Minnesota is, like I said, Western Conference finalist the last 2 seasons. They'll be in the play-in this year, I'm guessing. So that's who I picked for this one.
That is quite the drop-off right there. Western Conference Finals, play-in.
I had them in the same spot as well, so that's definitely one of my picks as well, the Timberwolves. Of course, if you watch the prediction videos, I have the Bucks at 12th in the East, so I think it is the Milwaukee Bucks. I think it's going to be a total disaster. But I don't even think their expectations should even be that high to start off with, so I don't even think that 12th – No, 12th would be disappointing. They should not be 12th. I should let me hold
in this Eastern Conference.
But as far as the market, for the market, the names on the team, I think the Lakers, personally, I think a lot of people, I think they might be an overrated team at this point. I think a lot of people are talking a lot higher about the Lakers than they should be just because of the names on the roster. I mean, we've mentioned Ben and I in particular, we are not big fans on the fit of the guys on this team. 4 of the 5 guys in the starting lineup want the ball in their hands. None of their guys want to play defense. And their most reliable defenders or their best defenders can't really stay on the court because they're injury prone or, they also have, difficulties knocking down shots on the offensive end. So I don't know. Lakers, I just don't really, feel that great about. Ben, how about you?
Yes, I got a team in the West kind of similar to the Lakers. It's the Golden State Warriors. Yeah, I had them, in the playing tournament area, like the Lakers, with doing my season predictions, and the Warriors. I just think they're gonna kind of disappoint in the regular season. I mean, they got Kuminga back, but I'm in agreement with Miles. I just don't think Kuminga fits the best on the Warriors, especially when the stars are out there, and it's just think they aren't gonna totally play up the part of the Warriors and be in the playing tournament. But I still think Steph could be super good. I just think Jimmy Butler will kind of disappoint at times in the regular season, and that will hold the back. And I think, kind of and I think defensively they could struggle at times, like in the interior stuff, but still got Draymond. He still plays a good defense, but he's getting older, so yeah.
Not bad picks at all right there. Joey.
Um, a team that's not necessarily like it's super disappointing because in my standings I have them just outside the play-in, but I have the Toronto Raptors, and I know a couple of y'all are a little higher on them. But if, in my opinion, if they miss the play-in, that's really bad because they really need these guys to hit. Like they need Brandon Ingram to be a borderline all-star guy. They need RJ Barrett and quickly to hit the ground running. They need Grady Dick to hit a shot. They need everybody on this team to play like they can and put it together and win. But if they don't, and at least in this Eastern Conference, where do you go from here? Give them another year to gel?
It's either the Bucks or the Raptors. The Bucks or the Raptors going to be fighting it out for that 10 seed.
Yeah, and the Bulls, they're always mid.
And the Bulls, and if these injured teams like the Celtics and the Pacers end up, going down there, I mean, yeah, your point about the Raptors is very valid because I think across the board, because the East is open with these injured teams, I think it's kind of universally expected that the Raptors are going to be a competitive team, like in the middle, and play some postseason basketball. I think that's a universal thing that Toronto is supposed to be a postseason team or maybe a playoff team. So if it doesn't happen, you're right, because I mean they're paying these guys as well. They're not paying the amount of money they are for all these starters for them to just be a playing team or miss it. You're right. Like, where do they go from here if they don't have a significant jump this season?
That's exactly. I'm like if they don't make the play, even if they make the play, and they could. I can see them being, unless a lot of these guys take really big, significant jumps, and the Raptors just prove me absolutely wrong. But they could possibly end up like the Bulls, where they're just kind of hanging in that mid-range. But if they're out of the play-in, they're worse than the Bulls. Come on.
Yeah, which would definitely be a problem. Kind of going along with that question, and this is something we were kind of talking in the pre-pod lobby. That I guess kind of goes with which team will severely disappoint this year. So we were looking at the odds for the favorites to win the 2026 NBA championship, and looking at ESPN Bet, the top 5 in order is the Thunder to repeat, then the Cavs, the Nuggets, the Knicks, and the Houston Rockets. Out of those top 5 teams, which of those teams do you think has the biggest chance of disappointing? Because I mean, they're top 5 teams. One of them can't make it past the second round again. So, which of those 5 teams do you think has the biggest shot of being a disappointment, whether it's the regular season or the playoffs?
Personally, I'd say the Knicks. I think Cat being your 5 is a problem defensively. And I think that's what's going to hold him back. And if there's a team that I'm picking right now, it's not the Rockets, because I really like the Rockets. And if there's a team that I'm picking in that top 5, it's going to be the Knicks, because of the fact that you got a guy that's not a center playing center. And got a brand new coach coming in, whole new offense. Might be some holes exposed in the playoffs. So that's who I'd have to pick.
Ben, how about you?
I got the Rockets just because it's kind of tricky, this one, but I just think the Rockets are just going to have some lack of shooting that doesn't totally help them, and I think, Durant could be great this year, but it's not going to be easy for him to keep up with Shea or Jokic and those scores on the Nuggets or the Thunder. Say if they run into them in the second round of the playoffs or something. And I mean, Rockets can maybe match up well against Denver and get Denver some trouble, but the Nuggets have Jokic. I think Jokic can get them over the Rockets, but I just think some lack of offense will hold Houston back, but they could be pretty good defensively and tall, athletic. So, yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, poor Nuggets. I forgot to mention them with role players with biggest impact on the season. They
Yeah.
picked up 4 of them. I mean, they picked up 4 of the best you could get on the market, so they're definitely in that conversation. Yeah, Knicks, Rocket. It's tough. I think it definitely is one of those teams. Of course, the teams that are 4th and 5th, not 1st, 2nd, or 3rd.
I'll be honest. I actually think it's the Cavs that could disappoint out of those ones, and it's strictly because over the last couple of years, injuries have really been our issue, like especially in the playoffs. But this year, like at least in the first half of the season, we're without 2 of our starters, and I know DeAndre Hunter's going to be able to fill that role fine, and Lonzo Ball probably too. But like now our depth is compromised, and that was like a big thing for us. Like I think it's going to be a bigger. It might be. Who knows? Like we may be professionals. Like our guys are too good. Kenny Atkinson's such a great coach. Like we can overcome it, but like there is a very big chance I think we could be really struggling this first half of the season.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't mind the Cavs for this answer. I just think they're in the East. I think they'll still figure it out, even if they're not in a top 2 spot when it comes to playoff time. One of these younger teams jump up. I still think that they've got what it takes for the most part. I mean, honestly, as a Cavs fan, the Hawks scare me. the Hawks do kind of scare me.
Yeah.
The Knicks don't, honestly, as much currently. And of course, we got to see what it looks like on the floor. We'll see it opening night, the second night of the season when these 2 teams face off. But yeah, I think in the playoffs, in the regular season, it might be the Cavs because of injuries. In the playoffs, I think the biggest pretender here, I think I would probably go with the Rockets for the same reason that Ben said. I mean, in the regular season, I think that the Fred VanVleet injury doesn't hurt them as much because, again, they're going to be tall as heck. Like, it's going to be hard to score against them. But in the playoffs, the lack of three-point shooting could really matter. I mean, Kevin Durant is going to have to be really, really good, and he obviously can be. But he also, like, he has only won 2 playoff series since he left the Golden State Warriors now 6 years ago. So, you know, that's something like he needs to get back into that mold of being able to lead this team on the floor with his offense, because besides that, as far as like jump shooting goes, there's not a whole lot of other guys you trust besides like Jabari Smith or Dorian Finney-Smith, or if Reed Shepherd can be better. But of course, you're picking hairs with these teams. I mean, these are arguably the top 5 teams in the entire league right now. I mean, you know, loosely here. I mean, I'd throw the Clippers in there.
Yeah.
You know, the Hawks. I like the Hawks, but any of those wild card teams, the Pistons, the Magic, the Sixers can get it together. But I would think the Rockets out of those 5. But overall, definitely a tough question. But yeah, that is it for our first 5 burning questions. In the next episode, we will see what the second decision is, and we will go over that, see if it actually means anything. Of course, got 5 more burning questions to talk about, and a whole lot more hot takes coming out here. So stay tuned for that one. Until then, you guys have anything else before we get out of here?
Happy Decision Day.
Year 23, hanging it up, maybe.
Maybe. Definitely could be. Well, if you guys did enjoy this video, leave a like, subscribe for more NBA content. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Enjoy the second decision, and we will catch you in the next one.
Peace.
Peace.